Look, always within the show, if I have the opportunity, I want to showcase not only one of our ACLJ attorneys, but also updates on some of these cases that you've been following now. Some of them for years, it feels like, but some of them just for months. Garrett Taylor's joining us right now. Garrett, I want you to kind of give us, first, we got to kind of take a step back. Give me a background on this specific case. I know a lot of our audience remembers it as soon as you jog their memory, but they'll maybe need a little bit of a refresher on what we're talking about here because there are some updates.
Yeah, and this is a case out of Colorado, Northglenn, Colorado, to be exact. If you remember, we filed a lawsuit back in November against the City of Northglenn on behalf of pastors and members of 3 local churches out there who regularly minister in a local park. They have a ministry that worships and serves the local homeless population there. And this
food, everything, just they take care of them.
Exactly, and the city took issue with this. They they subjected our clients to private meetings with city officials, which they have not done with other groups. They passed a ordinance which prohibits our clients from simply gathering in the park to exercise their faith, and eventually cited them under that ordinance. And we fought the city on the criminal side of things, and eventually, as you may remember, those charges were dismissed by the city.
So started with a success. We moved forward. Things were great. But then it doesn't seem to, all these cases always, they never seem to just wrap up in a bow and it's over for at least the beginning stages. So far the battle has shaped to, we've got to the point where criminally we're all good, but it's not over.
Right, and the rules, the ordinance is still there, and that's what we're challenging. The ordinance bans groups of 5 or more people from gathering in the park on a recurring basis. And so we filed the lawsuit in November. The defendants filed their answer, and now we'll be in court next month for a scheduling conference to go over some deadlines for this next phase of the case, which is discovery. And here, this is the critical aspect of the case, critical phase in the case, where we will gather all the facts and evidence, including requesting all sorts of documents and sitting these city officials down in depositions to shed light on what exactly happened here.
Right, because we'll find out in these situations, like you said, criminally, a charge could get dropped, but like you said, the law still in the books, the rule's still in the books. Just because our client is taken care of from that point of view, we want to make sure that in the future, everyone. So when you support the work of the ACLJ, you understand that we're not just representing one client. Of course, we are representing clients, but we are representing communities, we are representing the country, and make sure that these kind of rules don't stand. Why do you think, though? I mean, the city was very, the city seemed to be specifically targeting this group, and now you're at the point of going, okay, like you said, sit them down and say, how can we get this changed? Is that really what the next step is?
Right, and we're trying to figure out exactly, why this rule was passed, why they haven't gone after other, similar groups. And, our clients were the only ones that were cited under this ordinance. And we're going to try to figure out exactly why that happened here. And that's so important, as you mentioned. It doesn't only, help, our clients in this case,
individual clients,
but it helps, the whole city of Northglenn, Colorado. It'll set precedent for cities all around the country that, will try. If they try to enact a similar rule, they'll be faced with the same opposition.
Yeah, so that's why we have people like Garrett who are able to go on the ground to be a part of these, journeys with our clients, but also help impact what the future of really America can look like. And we always want to shed, when I start this show and we talk about negotiating with Iran and we're talking about big picture things will come, war, all of these moments. We're going to go next over to Rick Grinnell in Munich. He's over at the Security Council. These are big worldwide events. And I understand sometimes those feel like, yeah, that's why I support the work of the ACLJ. They're on these global stages. And look, that is very, very important. But what is just as important is that people like Garrett can go with this group in Colorado and take care of a church that wants to meet in a public park, Or you heard yesterday of the fifth grader who just wanted to bring their Bible to school for quiet time, to read whatever they wanted to read. Of course, a lot of this is ACLJ cases that feels like we've been arguing for 35, 40 years. But people need reminders that this is not how it all works, and that is why we have such an incredible team. So I always want to tell you, when you're supporting the work of the ACLJ, you're not just supporting these big lofty dreams that we talk about, and these big goals, and going to the UN. You are doing that. Because trust me, a flight to Geneva is a little more expensive than a flight to Denver. However, both are expensive, both have real costs, but the cost never is incurred by the client. And I know I always reiterate that, but I want to make sure you understand that when one of these church groups comes to the ACLJ and says, we need help, we are being told we can't be in this public park anymore, and we don't know what to do, they don't have to incur a bunch of outside legal fees. Because people like you support, and you support on a financial basis, and we appreciate all of you that do that. We appreciate everyone who prays for the organization, for our team, for people like Garrett who are out there in the field doing the hard work. We appreciate everyone who just even watches this show each and every day. But of course, if you can support financially, I encourage you to do that. When you hear about these cases, maybe one day it will be your church, maybe one day it will be you, and you want to have us be there for you. And we're only here. We're able to only go and hire, the incredible team that we have here, whether it's senior attorneys that have been here for 30 years or people like Garrett who have been here for a handful of years who are just starting their legal journey, but we're able to put them in the field in places, like I said, like going to Colorado and handling these situations or in states where you maybe not even think, Texas and some of these others where you've had issues, you never would assume that you'd be having the issues that you're having. But it's currently the climate of America right now.